welcome to the weekly roundup. I'm your host Wayne Knowles with
Trevor Greg.
How are you, Trev?
Very good, mate.
Had a good week?
Yeah, had a good week. It was great Division 1 footy that we saw at the weekend.
Yes.
Called the game live out at Salisbury North against Paynham. Ripping day.
Yep.
Absolute ripping day.
2 red cans with the great man Sean Holland afterwards, I heard.
Oh yeah, no, we had a good chat with Dutchy out there, which was good. Finally got to meet the bloke. I've been talking to him for about 5 or 6 years. I've never met him in person. Completely, not satisfied.
No?
No, underwhelming.
Well,
The meeting was underwhelming.
I haven't caught up with the great man for a fair while. Normally it does involve one of our sponsors, the Land of Promise Hotel.
Oh, the lobbies.
Yep. I have bumped into Sean out there a few times.
Yep.
I've only just been passing through.
Yeah, just stopping in just to say, well,
Yeah, just doing a bit of, bit of public relations for the producers. Just calling in there, but not a bad man to have a few red cans with.
No, it was great, mate. It was good actually to finally meet you, actually. So shout out to you, Dutchy.
Okay, Division 1. Round 18 in Division 1 for us last week.
Yeah, some disappointing results, mate.
Some disappointing results, but some other teams have risen above and completely snuck in and won games of footy that probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, and it's got polar opposites. You've got a side that's come in Princes that have been unbelievable all year, and then you've got, they had a loss on the weekend, which I can't believe, and then you've got the other one, which has been just resting.
Mouse is just getting them right.
Yeah, and then you've got Unley, who have come into the competition first time this year, not doing so well. Not doing so well at all. Complete polar opposites. And the big one, Henley, dropping the Div 2.
It's been a long time.
It has been a very long time. And then once again, you've got Goodwood Saints, who are 2 games out from being relegated.
I heard a little rumour about Goodwood Saints actually.
Well, how's it?
But I'm not going to reveal quite yet. I might reveal it next week when we sit here. But
I love it.
it's a bit of goss.
And that's the difference between us and other publications. We wait and we hold.
I'm just going to make sure that I've got my facts right before I start trouting my mouth off. So,
thank you, Mike Smithson.
Yes, Mike. But anyway, we're moving on, moving forward. Okay, Ross Trevor, Old Collegians, 18 goals, 816, defeating the Henley Sharks, 6 goals, 12, 48.
Yeah, it was something that was picked. Ross Trevor just got to halfway through the year, sacked your coach for God knows whatever reason, but still been able to maintain.
This is probably the battle of the caretaker coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
It's been a very tough year for them down at Henley.
Did they lose a couple this year?
They lost a lot of players at the start of the year.
Yeah, obviously John Cock was one of those. Yeah,
and that makes it hard. I think they lost 10. I reckon there was 10 out of their side from last year. Don't hold me to that, but I know there was a fair few. You lose that, try to blunt some kids, it doesn't work. Then the coach and the club part ways halfway through the season. It's just very disruptive. Yeah, Ross Trevor, same kind of thing. They didn't lose players, but the coach parted ways halfway through the season. Causes a bit of turmoil. Sometimes some groups bounce back from that and find something and turn their season around. I think the immaturity of the younger lads at Henley, they've really struggled.
Yeah.
That's just my perception from afar.
No, that's a good point. And it's the same guys again, they're getting in the names of the goal scoring, the best players.
Yep.
See guys like Broadbent, Fairclough as well.
Yep.
Schwartz actually kicked 2. Broadbent, Ferguson, Fairclough and Radley were the individuals, and the best players for the Sharks were Kiddo, Fairclough, Bock, Broughton and of course Broadbent.
And at Ross Trevor had Kimone and Fantasia both with 5, Hurley with 3, Medhurst with 2 and Peach both with singles. Fantasia, O'Malley, Holm, Bacanello and McCallum in the best for Ross Trevor.
A lot of the same names again.
Same names again.
Kimone, another handful.
Yes.
So you stop him, like we've said, like with guys in Smithfield.
Yep.
Another one pops up, which is great to have.
Yes, exactly right.
The upset.
The upset, yes. Were they resting? Were they not? Who cares? At the end of the day, Port District, 19 goals, 9, 123. Defeating Prince Alfred Old Collegians, 13 goals, 1088. A win's a win.
Yeah. Last game.
Last game of the season. A few cans would have been drank there Saturday night. Good way for them to finish what has been a disappointing year, so to speak. You know, nothing better than when you have had a poo year.
Yeah.
Can I say?
Yeah, you can say shit.
Okay. You've had a shit year. To finish round 18 with a win.
Yeah.
Look at Fremantle. Look at Fremantle. You know, same kind of thing. Yep.
Work, mate. He'll be back at Henley next year. Oh, I've heard.
You've heard that, Rev? Okay. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Running around in the twos too.
Off the field, districts have had have had a good year.
Yep.
With Sweet obviously getting voted in to the board of the Amateur League, so they've got another direct lane straight through.
Yep.
He's a member elect, I think it is. So yeah, they'll be stronger again next year. But once again, another year in a row that they've just snuck out of that relegation zone.
Well, you know, and really, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Yep.
Okay. Regroup now. Recruit. Get rid of one of some blokes you've got to get rid of, and look to 2017. Anyway. That poor district, Williams with 6, Weistra with 3, Batty with 3, Nicosius with 2, Perry and 2, and 3 other blokes with singles, McIntyre, McInerney, Rosenthal, Pocock and Williams in the best players.
Yeah, there we go. Niska Huska with a couple. Fantastic photographer he is.
Yes.
Prince Alfred, Paps with 3, Siebel's also kicked a few, Ashby with 2, and a bunch of other guys chipping in with 1. And Wicks, Perryman, Clayfield and Brinsley were the best players.
Moving forward, okay, next game, Teacher Gully, Unley Mercedes Jets up there at Pertaringa Oval. It was Teacher Gully, 23 goals, 21, 159, defeating the Unley Mercedes Jets, 10 goals, 11, 71.
Disappointing year for the Jets. Big disappointing year. Yep.
Struggled. Another little rumour about them as well, actually.
Oh, wow. He's on fire. You've been away for a few weeks.
I've been away for a few weeks. It's amazing when you work in northern Western Australia. Okay, you hear more about what's going on in amateur league footy up there than you do when you're down here. Yeah, that's the truth of it. Okay, blokes just love to ring you when you're trying to sleep on night shift.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, did you hear about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do that. And
Yeah.
I get phone calls from a certain individual that just loves sitting on his phone going, oh, did you hear about this?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
produces it.
Oh, look at he looks very similar to Homer Simpson on the couch behind us at the moment. He's got his hand down his pants and all.
Oh, that is horrendous.
Oh, that's horrible.
So, so the talk during the week was how much did Unley have to win by against Teacher Gully for Goodwood Sakes to be relegated? But I just read that and laughed. I can't believe people were just dead set on that.
Anyway, I'm going to get on here. Teacher Gully, we had Min with 8, Stent with 3, Cochelle with 3.
Close your back.
Melba with 3, Bilby with 2, and three or four other blokes there with singles. Stent, Min, Golding, Hand and Birkin in the best players. And for Unley?
Unley Jets, Harder with 4. He's on fire. Gets a lot of white line fever. Harder, I've heard. Yep. Cheadle with 2. Anderson also with a couple. And then we had Taggart, Godden and Cheadle as the better players for Unley.
Okay. And we're heading out to the game that you called on Saturday.
This was brilliant.
The new Dennis Committee.
Right? No, Tommy was there this week. And
Basil's Amples, Tommy is.
Darcy was over in Melbourne.
Was he? Yep.
Yep. So this was brilliant. Salisbury North very accommodating for us. Great. The game was played in perfect spirit. But the problem for me was, once again, the same as when they played Teacher Gully, they wanted to play the farm wing.
Yep.
All the time. Every movement towards their forward 50 was almost, 90% of the time was on the eastern wing. And I couldn't work it out. I can't handle the way that he's looking.
Can't handle. I'm hearing you. The producer, if anyone could, I'd love to spin the camera around right now. He looks like he's in the process between either 1, having a heart attack, or 2, an orgasm.
It's just mentally just getting my head. That big 4-letter word, yes. I am. But the guys that stood out, Nye, he's kicked 6 goals, not a prolific goal scorer, but he was clunking it, he was kicking them perfectly, and he was the difference for me on the day. Giannini, once again, 3 goals. Burrows, Davis was really good, the young man.
Yep.
Bald for taking on the guys, he was swapping with Jolly, not their number 1 ruckman, so they were moving around, and then Jolly was coming up against their ruckman. I can't remember his name, Russo, I think it was. who has got an almighty leap.
Yep.
When he was jumping, his hip was just higher than Jolly's shoulder.
Yeah, right.
So the only way to counteract that was Jolly obviously used his size to go straight through. So, so shout out to Russo for his effort on the day. Ball was very good. Brimacombe was also great, and Giannini was the best on ground. Pippett, the young lad, is number 4. He's not big, but he is a nugget and he just finds the footy. Jolly again, Bauer and Nye was the best players for the day for Payneham.
And for Salisbury North, Pate with 4, Russo with 3, Solly with 2, and a heap of other blokes with singles, and best Clinch, Lawler, Wiles, Russo and Pate.
I must be watching a completely different game. I must have been watching a completely different game, but I like Clinch.
I didn't think you were.
No,
you were there.
all well and good for Benny Wiles getting in there on the best players. But both Russos were quite good. Pate was brilliant, and Clinch was also really good off half back.
Clinch has been a massive in for them since he's come in.
Yeah, and then they put him to half forward, and that's where I asked Tommy that why would you not have him on the ball when he's getting a lot of touch. Stengel was quiet again. From what I saw against Tea Tree Gully, but they'll bounce back. They've got a big game next week. But looking at the next one, sorry, Powell got carried away with that.
No, you're right. You're right. Okay. Anyway, we'll go on to the next game. It was Goody Saints and Adelaide Uni, and it was Goody Saints 10 goals 14-74, defeating Adelaide Uni 6 goals 11-47.
Eric Kells got the 5. Another handful. Anderson and Dempsey and Andy Kerr. Pinto and Bayless were the goal scorers, with Brooks, Kells, Dempsey, Anderson and Lynch as the best players.
At Uni you had Simpson with 2 and Robinson, Cottrell, Newcomb and Noonan all kicking singles. Antonidis, Cottrell, Walker, Oath, Painter, Painter and Bateman in the best players for the Blacks.
Yeah, so looking at where did we had the ladder there before. Adelaide Uni finishing 7th. And then we
had a disappointing year for them.
Yeah,
I think District, they've done all right. They've finished just out. They're 4 games out of the 5, but still sitting solidly there in 6th. Goody Saints very disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've lost lots, but once again, it's been a thing where they've had to pull them up from another 2 grades rather than just the one like they've had to in the past.
And at the end of the day, they still give one next year. So they've done what they needed to do to hold their position. They'll go away over summer. They will look to rebuild, no doubt. And I think Kelsey would be getting on now.
I think it would be. I mean, big clue. I don't know how old he'd be actually. But he'd be a big hole to fill.
No, massive hole. Massive hole. But anyway,
looking on to
next week's the first week of finals in Div 1 for the Adelaide Channel 9, whatever you want to call it, footy league this year. Elimination final, Ross Trevor and Salisbury North.
At Campbelltown.
Yep.
This one, I think Salisbury North, I mean, obviously there will be no one next week if they can't pull it together. They have to change the way that they're playing footy, and it's going to be difficult. Still stick to those same structures, but don't just be one-dimensional coming down to one side all the time. Yeah. If they had to come inboard, use those guys like Clinch just to deliver the football forward, they might get the job done, but I think it'll be too hard against Ross Trevor at home for me.
I said a few weeks ago that Salisbury North were the team on the move for me.
Yeah.
I think when Clinch come in, a heap of blokes that can play brilliant footy still run around in their 2s. There's something about Salisbury North that I've liked in the second half of the year.
Yep.
And for that, I'm going to back them this week. I think last week a little bit of a kick in the backside with Payneham. I think they'll get up and about, and I reckon they'll get the job done.
Wow.
There you go. Qualifying final, Tea Tree Gully and Payneham, Pertaringa Oval. Great game.
Yeah, we might be calling this one. We're not sure yet. Hopefully they say that we can go it.
Yep.
But yeah, they've got Koshel back.
Melvin's kicking goals again.
Bilby's there as a secondary. So
Joshy Hand's getting his hand on the ball in the middle.
Getting his hand on it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you've got
the producer's got his hand on it too.
He does too.
Yep.
Terrible. But Payneham, really, really good footy.
Yep.
I love listening to Macca on Saturday.
Yep.
The message is clear, concise, and he'll raise it if he needs to get their attention. But it's just focused.
Yeah.
I love the bloke. So. But I think it might be, absolutely.
Controlled. Absolutely. When I actually ducked out to Henley and Payneham, I reckon it was this year. I ducked out there after I'd finished at Glenelg. Had a go I just listened to one of Macca's address, and it's just, like I said, it's precise, it's to the point. He doesn't waver,
No.
and it's just control.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it might be a bit tough for him because you got Brimacombe came off early in the last quarter, I believe, and got dressed straight away. So just putting him on ice.
Yep.
If he can come back and be 100%, there'll be a shot. But I just think on that oval at Teacher Gully,
Home ground advantage for me.
I think the Gullies will do it because sorry Tommy, he was on fire.
Yeah, well, he would have been.
Fire that day.
He would have been.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's it for me. And of course the winner of that game, I think they'll take on either Trev or Salisbury North.
They'll take on
Prince
the
Alfred.
winner will, the loser will take on Australia.
Yeah. So and even then it's going to be a tough ask next week.
Yep.
So for me, Teacher Gully.
Teacher goes with
Yep.
this one.
And we're just going to go through the results of the Division 1 reserve
Yep.
reviews. And unfortunately, another tough year for only Mercedes Gents right across the board, which I'm sure is understandable.
Yes.
But then you have a look at Payne and Nord Union. They've had some injuries this year with their ace, so they've only had the 5 wins this year. And then finishing top, Prince Alfred.
Yep.
And then you got Goody Saints finishing second with Teacher Gully, Adelaide Uni, and Henley.
Henley sneaking in. Yep.
Going 50-50, so that's who will be playing out this week. Got no idea what just happened then. But
Yep.
Ros Trevor and Henley, 16-10, 106 to 7-6, 48.
Massive gap.
Massive gap.
Massive gap.
Huge. So that was out of Campbelltown, but I don't see that being, a surprise.
No,
to be
not
honest.
to me either. Then you get Prince Alfred 15 goals, 797, defeating Port District 10 goals, 565. Yet again, nothing,
surprising.
no surprise there.
No, not at all. Not, Princey's there. Teacher Gully and only Mercedes Gents. This one's a Bath.
Yep.
20 goals, 11, 131 to only 4-5-29. They've got a lot of work to do next year, only.
They certainly have. And and back down in Division 2, and they just chase a few blokes, pick it up a little bit. They will be enforcing it.
Yeah.
And that's how easy footy's turned around.
Because
And that's the benefit and the joy of our promotion relegation system.
Yep.
I think.
And that's where we've always said 3 to 2 is quite a big jump.
Yep.
And I still believe it is. Division 2 to Division 1 is a monstrous jump.
Yes.
I mean, Prince Alfred have proven me wrong there, but I think for some clubs that aren't 100% ready to go and not backed up administratively,
Yep.
that's going to be the biggest hurdle. So, Salisbury North, we saw a little bit of this game, and it was a tale of 2 completely different sides, so the A grade and B grade. So Salisbury North 16-15, 111, looked very sharp to Payneham 8-4-52.
Like I said, Salisbury North have got some pretty quality footballers running around that too. So
Yeah, I think there's a couple of blokes that playing the ones that might get a little bit of an interchange. I think there'll be a couple of
you got what do you
sad
got?
stories.
Hazeldean, Camplin still down there, Gregan's still down there.
I mean, Hazeldean's still playing too. So.
I know. Anyway,
It's a good
Man
spot to be in.
Mountain Toad.
Oh,
It is. And Goody Saints, 16 goals, 11, 107 defeating the Adelaide Uni Blacks, 6 goals, 541.
Yeah, it's an L Coast quite easily. Goodwood Saints.
Yep.
Moving into next week. So we'll just quickly. I didn't realise I didn't have it up. I'm very unorganised tonight. I had a terrible night last week too.
Did you?
Oh yes, I was terrible. Emailed, apologied, and everything.
Oh, really?
Couldn't spit me words out, nothing.
Oh.
It's horrendous. Elimination final, Adelaide Uni versus Henley at Campbelltown Memorial.
Henley for me.
You like that?
I reckon
do too.
Henley for me. I think them young lads have been, like we said before, what has been a tough year. They've gone 50-50. Let them have a crack.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Henley on that one.
Yep.
They've had a shocking year in the ones and that sort of stuff, but that's a platform for next year.
That's right,
There.
yep.
So Goodwood Saints and Tea Tree Gully at Pertaringa is going to be a big one. Big one.
Gullies.
You like Gullies?
I like the Gullies.
I do like Gullies at home, although Goodwood Saints will enjoy being able to spread a little bit more, but I think Tea Tree Gully at home and
Home, the home crowd's going to be massive.
yeah, hopefully we get to go back out there with David and the guys and get into that canteen. It's brilliant food. Brilliant food.
Always thinking about your guts.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So before I drop it,
Yep.
what we'll do is we'll say thanks very much to our sponsors, the Portland Hotel for their hospitality, and we'll catch you again next week.
Good luck, everyone.